5th, 2002, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that the equity funding lawsuit would have to go back to the local districts and legislators and let them deal with funding of schools. And I heard you mention that in your interview with the lady from the station. On the 27th, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that vouchers were legal. And the best way to probably ensure that our kids and kids from less affluent families and that get an equitable education and funding of that education is with a voucher, be it in the public schools. They've already taken tenure from the principals and put them on a performance contract. But in Alabama, we spend $5,908 per child. Taylor Road Academy here, a private school, it doesn't take that much to get in there, and they're outperforming our students. So the money is always a problem, but to fund these schools, to give the kids in Haynesville Road and some of the poor schools a leg up, a voucher would be in order. I spoke to Representative Newton about it, and he agreed with me. Why don't we address this issue? And it's possible that the state of Alabama is in violation of their Supreme Court ruling, just like all the schools were challenged when Brown versus Board of Education came online. This might be the best way to fund our schools. Would you entertain the idea of at least looking at vouchers as a way of funding public schools?
Yes, I would. In fact, I am so committed to making certain we make the best efforts we can to get the most out of our dollars so that our students can succeed. And I would not be opposed to looking at any proposal. And then I believe once we've had a chance to review them, you probably have done more research.
Yeah, thank you for your comment.
Hubbard, Humphreys, Hurst, Hyson, Jackson, Johnson.
Hey, Mr. Crowley, how you making? They just doing a good crowd for you. Where you going?
Hey! 88 members having answered the roll, the quorum is present. The House is ready to transact business, and the chair recognizes Mr. Venable of Elmore.
Mr. Speaker, I move that resolution be excused for this legislative day.
Member seconds, the gentleman is Mr. Venable. This is the first thing for sure discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Cherokee, Mr. College, Jefferson, Miss Hall. The gentleman has moved that the rules be suspended and to address a joint session of the House of Senate and the House Chamber of Capitol this evening at 6:30 p.m.
You want what? Vouchers again?
No, as a way to fund the schools. Think about it. I got some good comments. Wait till you see them over there.
Well, I'm going to recall it well. I'm going to try tomorrow morning. Everybody looks at syntaxes. I think the ultimate syntax is
Absolutely. Well, as soon as the government decides, they legalize the numbers. They legalized alcohol, rather prohibition didn't work. And Mayor Bright is trying to legalize drugs. Hello, David. He's buying them out of Canada. You notice that? Hello, David. David, most of the guys in the Montgomery delegation that I've got on record say that they would support a voucher system where the money would follow the students. What do you think about that?
Where money would follow what?
Follow the child.
Money would follow the child. I'd like to hear more about it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds interesting.
Yeah, thank you for your comments, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On June 5th, 2002, the Alabama Supreme Court threw out the equity funding lawsuit and sent it back to the local delegation to make sure that the schools were funded equitably. All right. On June 27th, 2002, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that vouchers were legal. As we approach the 50th anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education, would it be fair to say that the Alabama State Board of Education is in violation of U.S. Supreme Court ruling and not issuing vouchers? Put that on your talk show. What would you? Now I got you on record. Now, come on.
I'll get back with you on that. I'll get back with you on that.
Yeah, that's they're serving illegal. What do you think of vouchers?
What, we're being interviewed again?
Right up front with it, yeah. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, yeah. And there's always this. Yeah.
She wants to take her brother's gun away if he get a felony.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She's got Democrats driven all over her.
Well, they're all the same. Anyway, welcome aboard. Let's go upstairs. I got a bunch of people out here. Nobody wants to talk about vouchers.
That's right.
There's the funding of schools. Is this the 7th floor?
Yeah. Is this where you get the thing?
Yeah. Mike Butler to the left. I got to go upstairs.
No, this is 6.
That's a 6. Is this before you get to...
Dixon is referred to the Committee on Commerce, Transportation, and Utilities. Senate Bill number 49 by Mr. Penn is referred to the Committee on Agriculture and Forestry. Senate Bill number 50 by Mr. Penn is referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs. Senate Bill number 51 by Mr. Penn is referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs. Senate Bill number 52 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Health. Senate Bill number 53 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Rules for Assignment. Senate Bill number 54 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs. Senate Bill number 55 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs. Senate Bill number 56 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Senate Bill number 57 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Governmental Affairs. Senate Bill number 58 by Mr. Ross is referred to the Committee on Judiciary. Taxation Education. Senate Bill number 66 by Mr. French and others is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund.
We have a communication from the Committee on Assignments for the Senate. The Secretary will read the communication.
A report of the Senate Committee on Assignments. The Senate Committee on Assignments hereby makes the following appointments to fill vacancies on Senate standing committees for the 2003-06 legislative quadrennium. Banking and Insurance, Mr. Zeb Little and Mr. Steele. Committee on Business and Labor, Ms. Figures and Mr. Poole. Committee on Children, Youth Affairs and Human Resources, Mr. Denton and Mr. Means. Committee on Constitution, Campaign Finance, Ethics and Elections, Mr. Tanner. Committee on Economic...
Motion to adopt SJR number 3. Okay, first, Senator McLean asked that all senators' names be added as co-sponsors. Is there any objection? Senator Myers does not wish his name on it. Anyone else would like for their name to not be included? Okay, so now the matter before this body is the adoption of this SJR 3. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. SJR 3 is adopted. Senator McClellan.
Madam President, I have a SR.
The desk will receive and read the SR.
It's basically, it is the same resolution. I request unanimous consent.
Yeah.
Okay, the senator asked for unanimous consent to introduce out of order an SR. Is there an objection? Seeing none, so ordered. The desk will receive and read.
Senate Resolution number 4 by Mr. McLean, urging the President of the United States to impose quotas on ductile iron waterworks fittings imported from China.
Madam President, that's exactly the same as the SJR, and I move passage and ask that all senators be included as co-sponsors with the exception of Senator Myers.
Okay, We're on the motion to adopt SR 4. All in favor say aye. All opposed no. SR 4 is adopted. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. It's serious stuff.
Huh?
It's serious. Something. I've interviewed quite a few people in the House and Senate. Now, you guys with the Board of Education. Now, on June 5th, 2002, the Alabama Supreme Court threw out the equity funding lawsuit. We agree? Lawsuit. On June 27th, the Supreme Court ruled that vouchers were legal, and there's still a big gap in the funding of the schools. Wouldn't it be in order, since we've taken tenure from principals, to allow the principals to run the schools off the $5,908 that we give each student here in Alabama? Huh? And give a voucher? That way the schools are all funded equally? Anybody? You're for it, right? Yeah, equal funding. Everybody should be. You know, how come these people in the legislature don't want to discuss it?
I think the kids in Wilcox County ought to have the same.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now that sounds great, because this is going up on the internet. Thank you, gentlemen.
Us in Tennessee, and to the east of us in Georgia, they make more money. And in fact, Mississippi last year spent $404 per child more than Alabama. Now, they didn't put it all in teacher salaries, but they put it in various things, smaller classes, supply money, textbook money. And when you start looking at a class of 20, multiply that by $400, that's a lot more per classroom they're spending than it was.
Governor has taken a veto one to mean that people want more accountability.
Well, people always want more accountability. And I want to know where my tax dollars are going. I want to know once it got there that somebody didn't steal it. And I think people deserve to know that. So I'm all for more accountability. He means more accountability that teachers and state employees alone bear the burden of the deficit. I think that's unfair. You know, there's 4 million of us in this state who live here, and we all need to share in the bounty of the state, or the shortfalls of the state. And it's not fair to take one group of taxpayers and say, okay, this deficit you're going to make up on your backs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hubbard.
Mr. Hubbard, question. I asked Ed Richardson about vouchers once, and he said as long as the schools in question come up to the same accreditation of the public schools, that vouchers are in order. And the $5,908 last year they spent, wouldn't it be a lot smarter?
Who do you represent?
CARTN.com. That's Central Alabama Radio and Talk Network.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on the internet tomorrow. You can watch it.
Okay.
But anyway, I'd like to know, why can't we give the money to the principals that no longer have tenure, let them pay the salaries and all the benefits and everything out of that $5,908 that we give education per child?
Well, we used to do that. It was called private and parochial schools, and about 1856, we decided that church schools and private schools couldn't serve a growing state's needs. So Alabama, let me finish. Alabama joined 49 other states in creating a public school system.
Okay, funding of the schools would be a lot more equitable since the Supreme Court threw out the equity funding lawsuit June 5th, 2002, and the U.S. Supreme Court that same year ruled that vouchers were legal. Would Alabama be in violation of that Supreme Court ruling by not providing the conduit for parents to get a voucher to put their place and have school choice?
I don't recall the Supreme Court having spoken on that. But
yeah, they ruled though that vouchers in Ohio.
Public money ought to be spent for public education.
Well, if you just did that with public schools and fund Patterson like you do Von Road, wouldn't it be better for those kids at Patterson?
Public education ought to spend every dollar it gets equally on every child in the state. That's what the Alabama Supreme Court ruled in the equity funding lawsuit.
Okay, now what about the U.S. Supreme Court? That's the court of the land, right?
I believe the state of Alabama, education is a state function.
Okay.
The Alabama Supreme Court ruled that whatever state dollars were available had to be sent to every child on an equal basis in every system in the state.
But it never happened.
Yes, I believe you'll check.